Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Welcome to Dad Jeans.
Hurrah! Oh, that was a double cracker. Double cracker. It's that kind of a night. It's a double cracking night.
Not the kind of sound that bounces off the walls on Murray Drive, I'll just tell you that much.
I don't know what that means, but I'll accept it.
Meaning, I don't crack enough alcohol in my life. Really, my only excuse to drink is doing podcasts with Jeff Dinsmore.
Wow. Well, I'm happy to provide you with that because I feel like drinking is one of the three things that distinguishes us from the apes.
What is the distant fourth?
The distant fourth is, it's coming into my head.
I can see it on your face that it's coming into your head.
Tendencies towards and rejection of altruism.
Yes.
We want to do it, but we don't. That's what distinguishes us from the apes.
We strive to be that.
Yes. We know that everyone thinks that that's what we should do, but we don't.
And then
we feel guilty about it.
And then an ape hand with its thumb opposable wraps around our ankle and yanks us back down among their ranks.
Oh, if only. If only I had that excuse. An ape thumb was ripping me down.
An excuse to party with apes, you're saying?
Yes. Which brings me to something that I've been thinking about a lot this week.
Oh, let's hear it.
Which is do we need to do the theme song?
Oh, yes.
Dad jeans. Dad jeans. They're not sad jeans or bad jeans, just dad jeans. Not for moms. That was great.
Not bad.
Okay.
We'll have to memorize that.
Yes. So what's been happening this week is the Supreme Court decision, the Hobby Lobby decision, as it will forever be known.
This is from the second worst Supreme Court in the history of the United States.
What's the first?
Dred Scott.
Oh, okay, sure.
That's sort of a meatball, but go on.
Yes. We all know what happened, right? I don't know what happened, so I'm sort of talking out of my ass. But what I gather happened is that the Supreme Court said that it was okay for Hobby Lobby to not go with a healthcare plan that provided birth control for its employees, or 4 kinds of birth control. Like I think it's a little more complex than it has sort of been portrayed in the media. Not that it's any better, but there's something like it's like a really weird like sort of Gore v. Bush decision where it only applies not in one circumstance, but to one type of company and 4 types of birth control. Is that correct?
It is. Here's where it gets really insidious, because from what I understand, they are wrong about contraception. These religious nut jobs who run these companies, the cabinet makers and then the Hobby Lobby, I don't even know, whatever that's all about.
What's the cabinet makers?
That's the Vindevere Vandal Schlamp, the other company that's along with Hobby. There's another company that makes cabinets.
I was not aware of that.
They
were
on the case with Hobby Lobby, but Hobby Lobby is a much more fun thing to say.
Yeah.
And Hobby Lobby sounds like one of those childlike names of a really lewd sexual act.
That would be on the frat list of something that you had to complete before.
Yeah, exactly. Like the Red Admiral.
Okay, I don't know what that is, but I don't know if I want to know.
Nor do you want to, exactly. No. So they decided that contraception was a form of abortion, which is scientifically not at all in any way correct. So their quote-unquote religious beliefs dictate that because they are wrong about this thing, they can still decide not to act on it in a particular way, which opens the door for ridiculous amounts of crazy things.
Well, but to be fair to Hobby Lobby, who I greatly admire, they have fantastic hobbies.
Ships and bottles.
Yeah, exactly. Anytime I want to put together my model trains, that's where I go first. I don't know what Hobby Lobby is.
Very sexual model trains, by the way.
Oh, yeah. Penis, very phallic.
Look at any Hollywood movie.
Yeah, exactly.
Go on.
It all comes from Hobby Lobby. So birth control can be an abortifacient.
Oh, sure,
true. The morning after pill is just a really strong dosage of birth control.
Oh, right, exactly. And then there's the...
So there is truth to that, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
But I think it's not only that, but even simply the pill IUDs, other things. Mm-hmm. Here's where I could be wrong. But I think what the court was actually deciding was, can a corporation have religious beliefs? That is to say, can it be a person? Which means it's Citizens United Part 2. Not only is it a person who can have freedom of speech, it is also a person that can have religious beliefs.
Right.
So next will come the point where corporations can be held accountable, as a person can, for acting like a psychopath.
That would be fantastic, because there are a lot of corporations, I think, that maybe might be in trouble if that were the case.
They're all sociopathic.
Yeah, exactly. But could Hobby Lobby technically adopt the children that its employees are going to have now and just be their dad?
Oh, and imagine the hobbies. That would be really enriching.
Yeah, it would, exactly.
I can't think of a better company.
What better place to grow up than Hobby Lobby?
You're completely right.
Maybe that's what they're trying to do. They're
build a Hobby Lobby army.
Hobby Lobby orphan army.
Yeah.
Yes, they're like the Fagin of hobby stores, of corporations.
And they all those
send
kids
out a lot of little pickpockets.
I see a certain amount of child labors where they all get Hobby Lobby Jobbies.
Hobby Lobby Jobby Wobby. Yeah, so that's it's been playing on my mind a lot. Mm-hmm. It just feels like I don't know how to articulate this argument, and I just keep going over it in my head in just like taking it back to like, what are we afraid of? We're afraid of sexual. The existence of sexual urges, the existence of sexuality, is that like what is at the root of all of this?
This is the perfect segue into what the mommies are talking about.
Oh, perfect. Fantastic.
We should have a look around.
Unplanned.
Completely
one
unplanned.
One
totally
mind.
Extempore.
Okay.
That's how they would say it in Italy. Or
I don't know that country.
It's
gonna have to refer that to the forums. Okay.
Take to the forums, the ActionScript 1.0 forums, which
Yes.
are de facto forums for dad jeans.
Yep.
Actually, as a quick sidebar, I went to dadjeans.com today to see it, or rather this week, to see if it exists. I CC'd you on an email.
Yes, you wrote the owner of dadjeans.com.
So, here's the problem with time. In 2009...
The problem with time.
The problem with time.
Yes.
So our president, Barack Obama,
heard of him?
threw out the first pitch at a Chicago White Sox game. Mm-hmm. You may remember this. There were many. It was a big photo op. He wore a White Sox jacket.
Sure.
And dad jeans.
Yes.
Some intrepid person who also lives in our fair city of Los Angeles, California, saw that, grabbed the photos, took to Blogger or one of those websites. Mm-hmm. No, sorry, Blogspot, one of those, and created dadjeans.com, where he would hold forth about different appearances of dad jeans. He did this 3 times. Okay. And then gave up on it.
Ooh.
But it still exists.
From like 2009.
October of 2009.
Okay.
And so he has this very short blog with 3 entries from October of 2009. I took to the Gmail.
He's been hanging on to the URL ever since.
Sitting on that gold mine.
Oh, greedy. We shouldn't, actually maybe, no, lovely man.
Well, certainly,
lovely
especially
man.
because he's hopefully going to be a guest on our program.
Oh, fantastic.
Well, that's what was the invitation.
Well, he is an expert.
He is an
on
expert on dad jeans. And the question is, he has not responded.
Okay.
Because he's probably speaking with his lawyers about how much he can get out of us.
Yeah. Was it an Angel Fire email address?
Tripod.
GeoCities?
Earthlink.
Okay.
Or Lycos.
Okay.
And as a result, I'm a little worried that we'll actually get it. But then again, does a podcast need its own URL? I don't think so. People go to iTunes and Stitcher and all that kind of stuff.
Dadjeanspodcast.com. Dadjeans.tv.podcast.com.
.aljazeera.net.
Yes. .edu. That would be great.
.gov.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
No, it's fine. I work in the world of motion graphics companies, and I don't know any of them that have their own URL. You go to like motiongraphicsname.com, and it's like some it's always some like construction firm in the Midwest or something like that, that snapped it up in 2000.
Wait a second.
Yes.
Jeffrey, I work in motion graphics.
You're kidding.
Did we know this about each other?
Do we know each other?
We do not. We have far too much overlap. But actually, if memory serves, the reason I have my job is because I came to a dinner party at your house.
Well, there you go.
About a year and a half ago.
Well, then, and my wife got you
lovely
the
woman
job.
To whom I owe my psychological well-being.
I agree. As do we all.
And I'm waiting for that invoice. I don't even know what's going to be on it.
Oh, you don't want to know. We're not doing very well right now, Brent. We're going to be taking you to the cleaners.
I look forward to that. I'm very dirty.
Let's hear about the mommy blog. So, what's happening on the mommy blogs this week?
Well, mommy blogs this week, usually it's fun to go to the mommy blogs to find things to make fun of because moms are known to take parenting seriously.
Yes, they care.
But I decided this week that instead we're going to depart from our usual fun-making and rubber cement booger flicking.
Okay.
Instead, read something that is I found quite amusing by Bunmi Laditan, who she wrote something called How to Breastfeed Appropriately.
Let's know.
And I'll just read some excerpts here. Unless you're a magazine cover model or a music video, or in a music video, exposing your female udder flesh is entirely inappropriate.
Female udder flesh, I love that.
Science has proven that breasts are basically large vaginas. Only you and your partner should ever see them. Just because your breastginas are full of milk doesn't mean you get to wave them around.
Breastginas.
And then she has some real-life story quotes. I saw a woman breastfeeding in a park and was so overcome with desire, I left my wife the same day. John, 34, Nebraska.
My goodness.
Here's another. I was a married man with 8 kids. Last month, I saw a woman nursing her infant at a park. I'm now married to her. Luke, 45,
wow.
South Dakota.
Luke and John, these are both biblical names.
Oh my God, you're right.
Is this a...
Holy crap. The third one, unmentioned, Anthony, the Book of Anthony. That's Gnostic.
Yeah. That was a good one, though.
Wait, or was that the father? Was it Jesus, Mary, and Anthony?
Yeah, it's somewhere in there.
Yeah.
I think it was Lost, though. I believe that's the one where Judas gets a gender reassignment surgery.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
So and then she has some tips for such as use a cover, cover your baby so that no one has to see that. This is basically a deliciously sarcastic Jezebel-esque, all tongue-in-cheek screed of those who would condemn.
Oh, so you're saying that the breastgina, that's not a serious.
Oh yes,
she's not seriously upset about the breastgina.
It's quite humorous, as they would say in
see,
Scranton, Pennsylvania. Here's another thing here. She writes of babies being tucked under a piece of cloth in the summertime. Please do not use summer as an excuse to flash your flesh-toned milk bags. Just last week, I ate an entire Italian sub under a handmade quilt in 90-degree weather, skin to skin with a close friend, to simulate summer breastfeeding. Were we hot? Yes. Were we uncomfortable? Yes. Did one of us briefly lose consciousness? Yes. Did we subject anyone to seeing nipples? No.
No. Most important part.
So she's, I don't know if you remember when dear old John Ashcroft,
yeah,
who wrote the song Let the Eagle Soar, and also served as our Attorney General.
Yeah. Lovely hair.
In the certainly.
Hair.
What a coif.
Yeah.
So in the Department of Justice, he gave a speech early in the first Bush term in front of
about breastginas.
Yes, it was called. Yes, it was.
The rise of the breastginas.
The Breastgineberg address.
Yeah, I remember.
And he was in front of a statue that of I think Lady Justice.
And she had an exposed breast. Right?
One of them was exposed.
Yes.
Because that's evil, and the other one was clothed, and that was good. I guess. I mean, I don't understand the symbolism.
I thought that was justice. An exposed breast.
That
yeah. Was our. that's when we know that the world is all right.
Versus unfairness when you can't see boobs.
Exactly.
It's very problematized.
Yeah.
And one of his chief of staff raised a concern over the fact that he was standing in front of this exposed alabaster breast as being I don't even know what. Sexually inappropriate or something.
Well, it's arousing. It would send a confusing signal, I think, to a lot of us out there when we see someone with John Ashcroft's hair standing in front of a boob. And I wouldn't know what to do with my urges after that. I might have to put them in something.
I would give myself a timeout.
Yeah, I might have
instantly.
Yes, I might have to give just like the woman from last week, her husband. I might have to shut down the iPad.
Oh right.
Go and do my penance.
No Instagram.
Yeah.
It brings to mind there's apparently a TV documentary about a gender reassignment surgery. Speaking of which, in which a man, a man became a woman.
Man became a woman. Okay.
Okay. So we're watching the surgery because it's on Surgery Channel, Surgery Channel.
That's what you watch the Surgery Channel?
And who don't?
I think it's called I'm sorry, go ahead. The Sugary Channel.
The Sugary Channel. Oh, that's what it was.
They just happen to be showing a surgery, but generally
it's Paula Deen with a scalpel digging into fat people and eating their organs.
I would watch that.
I would too.
I would watch that channel 24 hours a day.
I would TiVo the fudge out of that.
Yeah.
So this is a man getting gender reassignment surgery. First things first, let's get a couple of boobs on this guy.
Throw him on there. Why not?
So he's on his back, and he's getting they're cutting in. They're showing the knives like digging into this dude's flesh.
Okay.
And he's on his way. He's going to wake up a woman, and instantly my pronoun will change when I get to the part of the story where he becomes a woman. But I'm not there yet.
Yeah.
So I'm very hip to.
He's still Bradley. He's
pronoun.
not Chelsea.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So nipple, 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 cut, gore, 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 tissue, 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 and then they take a bunch of contact lens solution in a Ziploc, however that works. Stick it under the flap of skin that they've just wrested free of his rib cage, and then the moment that nipple is lifted off the rib cage by
you got hard.
That's exactly right.
Okay. Sorry.
How did you know?
Is that what you were going to say?
No. If only, actually. No, yeah. I never saw this. I guarantee you that's definitely what would have happened. But I only read about this. The moment it became a breast and was lifted, the moment they lifted the skin, the nipple was fuzzed out.
Oh, wow.
The same nipple that had been on a man became, and it's great for on the part of the Surgery Channel because they are the Sugary Channel because they were with it enough to switch pronouns that quickly.
Wow.
Good on it. Pronouns are a big deal in the LGBT, BB, QQI.
They are.
And so poof.
Right.
Censored.
Now this is a woman.
Yeah, because it's like a female.
Now this is a woman, and she must be covered up.
Right.
Wow. That is titillating. Thank you for that titillating story.
Oh, you're quite welcome.
I am fascinated and would love to investigate the Sugary Channel and see what we can see.
It's mostly breast augmentation, but on men.
That's fine.
It is certainly fine.
As long as they fuzz out the nipples, that should be okay.
Well, nipples are disgusting.
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, breastfeeding.
There's something that sparked my thing. Not to get into too many digressions.
By thing.
But
do you mean your penis?
Yes, I have an erection, and I wanted to talk about it.
Let's go.
I do not have an erection yet. We have not yet gotten to our other segments.
Erections.
Erections.
It's just the whole segment's called erections.
It's just called erections, and then we just try to work each other up orally. Get your mind out of the gutter, people. No, I had something, but forget it. Let's skip it. I think digressions can only take you so far. If I remember, I will come back to it. It was a fascinating tidbit, but we don't need to know about it right now.
Oh, we don't, do we?
No.
I interrupted you far too many times with my nonsense.
No. You had a story, and I just didn't interrupt quickly enough. We're working on it. We're still working on it. The podcast etiquette.
Right. This is something we have faced. How do we... Jeff and I are new to this podcasting thing. This is our fifth practice.
Fifth.
And
can you believe it?
Do we talk over each other, or do we make it like a normal conversation? This is what we've been grappling with. I'm saving this for One Toe in the Cool, but I've been listening a lot to Men in Blazers, the soccer podcast.
Okay.
And I feel like we should talk ever so slightly, topical as it is, about Tim Howard.
Okay. I was not able to watch the game because I do not have cable at work. I listened to it, and I had no idea what I was listening to. I cannot listen to any kind of sporting competition and have any idea what's going on. I just wait for the moment when they're like, go!
And then you get excited.
Yeah! Or like, the big rise in excitement level. And then I'm like, oh, that happened. And I am glad that I heard it. But the rest of it is just... You might as well be like reading off chess moves to me, like knight 3 to pawn 4.
And you have to listen. You have to memorize the names of the players. You have to know everything about the sport before you can start just listening to it. Right. Otherwise, it has to be very visual. I could not agree more.
Yes.
It was a very exciting match.
So I've heard.
I watched it at work in my cubicle.
Okay.
Luckily, I work next to the sports channel of the network I work at.
And they wouldn't let you watch with them. They forced you to watch it in your cubicle.
There are TVs everywhere, and unfortunately, in the afternoon when I'm thinking to myself, God, I really should do something creative today and not just be a drone.
Yeah.
And on all the TVs, all around in every direction, is Ultimate Fighting. And
impossible to turn your eyes away.
So I'm watching naked men pound each other with like homoerotic delight.
This is the erection episode. This is like my 7th erection of this podcast.
It's like the scene in Boogie Nights when he goes to score the coke and that guy is throwing firecrackers.
Right.
It's just like so alarming. The entire every time I see noses busted. It's horrible.
Right. Yeah.
Every day
in your peripheral vision.
Yeah. Non-stop.
Just violence all day long.
I'm right back in Dorchester, Massachusetts. It's unbelievable.
It's good that you like your coworkers now. There was a time when that might have set you off.
Oh,
yes.
yes.
Might have been a trigger.
I was a chicking chime bomb for a while.
Yeah.
But not anymore. Now everything is happy and dandy.
Good.
Which is nice. So Tim Howard, very quickly.
Yes.
Tim Howard being the goalie for the Team USA, which was eliminated by those goddamn Belgians.
That's right.
I
thought it was Belarus.
No, yes, yeah.
I just saw the BEL. No, I'm kidding.
And he had 16 saves. And more importantly, and this is an important thing for us dads, and we can talk about this, he is belligerent at his teammates and dresses them down constantly and points at his bald, adorable head and it's like, get your head in the game and stuff like that.
Okay.
And he's like the kind of the Papa Bear. And somebody, and America fell in love with him yesterday.
Yeah.
And someone took to Wikipedia and replaced Chuck Hagel as Secretary of the Defense
right.
with Tim Howard.
Yes, I heard this.
I think is absolutely fantastic.
Amazing and happy, and I hope that there was no 12-year-old child who was doing his report at just that moment happened to see.
Exactly. And God forbid was plagiarizing and copying and pasting, because that would be a dead giveaway.
Yeah.
But maybe they'll get an A.
Yeah.
Because who doesn't love Tim Howard these days? Also, recently unearthed was his high school yearbook portrait with the quote next to it. And his yearbook quote was, "It will take a nation of millions to hold me back."
Oh, damn. That is tough.
So
was he wearing a giant Flava Flav clock around his neck at the time?
Yeah. If only. No, he's very smiley in a suit.
Yeah.
Already bald somehow.
Okay.
But
it's the testosterone. You can't. That's what makes him a great soccer player.
Oh, the testosterone that also made him bald?
That also made him bald, yes.
I'm getting power rallies. Does that mean my testosterone is spiking?
No, you have a lot of hair. I have much more testosterone than you do.
Do you find yourself aroused now and then?
Yes! Erection number 8. Erection Counter. We're going to be putting up a erection counter on the forums.
Take to the action script 1.0 and just use the keywords. Use hashtags. I don't think they existed when action script 1.0 was still in use. And
I don't know what it would have been back then.
Yeah, it's some sort of margin. I
maybe
think
like
margin width.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Exactly. Some kind of tab over. All right. Shall we get to the podcast? Has not even really officially begun yet.
No, this is all treading water. Let's take to it. Let's get to it.
Yeah.
Jeff Dinsmore,
yes.
our first mainstay segment. This is where we get on our knife and fork and dig into the protein.
Yes.
How have we failed our children this week?
How have we failed our children? Television. Television is Brendan. You have not gotten to this stage yet because your child is but a mere twinkling in your eye still.
By that, Jeffrey means 15 months.
A 15-month-old twinkling. My television is very insidious force in our lives. We have been powerless to stop our daughter's complete whatever it is, adoption into the cult of TV. And we were great for the first 2 years. They say they're not supposed to watch any TV before age 2. Mm-hmm. She caught a little bit here and there maybe, but since then it has been a constant struggle. She likes to wake up and watch TV. And at 7 o'clock in the morning, 6:30 in the morning, I am not in the appropriate mindset to stop her and have that fight. And so it just keeps going, and now it is total habit. It is her morning coffee, is watching TV. And we try to limit it. We try to do like 15 minutes in the morning, 15 minutes when she comes home from work. Doesn't always happen, but when she comes home from work,
I was just gonna.
she works at Hobby Lobby.
She got one of those jobbies.
Yes, she's got herself a Hobby Lobby Jobby Wobby, and she's doing good, taking care of the family. But once that sweet Fox money that we're gonna take from your paycheck comes in, we'll be okay.
By the way, I do not work for Fox News in any way, shape, or form.
No. I meant the fox, the money that you get from raising pet foxes.
Right. Yes, I tame them.
Yes.
As pets and then sell them as if they're dogs.
Yes. That I'm going to take money from that. I don't know how, but I'm going to. So the TV lately is she has stumbled upon this thing. She has stumbled upon YouTube. She knows how to operate YouTube. We don't have an iPad because we thought like that's just that will be her iPad.
Right.
If we get an iPad, it will be her iPad. We don't want that in our lives. But we do have phones. So now she wakes up in the morning. She's got this stick. I don't know why we allow her to have this stick, but she has this stick. It's like a big bamboo stick.
She beats you with it.
Yeah, she canes me in the morning on my buttocks. I'm not going to set an erection alert for that because that's disgusting.
We're still at 8.
We're still at 8. Still at 8. No, she has this...
sorry, 9. Sorry.
Oh, jeez. That one just snuck in there. That's a complete non sequitur.
I just lost more hair.
That was a non sequitur boner. She has this little stick that she takes out of her room, and while I'm still sleeping, she will use the stick to take her mother's phone off of whatever high place we have placed it on.
You're kidding?
No.
This is very MacGyver of her.
Very simian, actually. This is a very she's a little like a macaque monkey that taking using her stick to catch ants. But she will wrest the phone off of whatever surface it's on, and then I will come in and she will be watching my wife's cell phone, and what she has discovered in the last 2 weeks is this thing that she has taken to calling Hazel ads. And what Hazel ads are these anywhere from 3-minute to 15-minute long videos of adults. These are 2 adults that I have found so far. She's found this little network, but we don't ever see their faces. We just hear their voices and see their hands. And in one series of Hazel ads, the adult, it's this woman. I'm guessing she's like in her, late 20s, maybe early 30s, but she has a very childlike voice, like a very pleasant voice to listen to. And she's playing with toys. And then when she's done, like Disney Princesses is a big one. There's another thing called Peppa Pig, which is like a TV show that about an adorable little pig from England. And they have these play sets, like the like Star Wars play sets or like whatever, like a play set. You know what a play set is?
Sure.
Okay. Little people play set. And she plays with the toys and does little scenarios with them. And then she goes through and describes the play set and all of its wonderful features. And this woman's videos, I believe, are produced by Disney. Like it's sort of hidden. I haven't really investigated that far, but it feels a little bit too professional, in a way that like is like they're trying to get exactly what they're getting, which is my daughter watching them and saying, "I want to buy that playset."
Wow, glorious lighting.
Yeah, it looks nice. They look nice, and like the woman is actually very engaging. Like she's having fun with the playsets. I kind of want to play with the playsets after watching these things. They're cool playsets.
And this is not that thing that people have where there's some neurological condition. You take to YouTube, and people whisper and they crinkle different types of shimmery fabric, and they're like, "This is my harmonica," and people like
No.
lose their minds about it. You
No.
know, but you know what I'm talking about, right?
I do, because my wife has it, and she watches those videos.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
If you'd like to get her as a guest on this podcast, she's right in the next room.
Oh my God! And she's probably watching those videos right now.
She might be. Yeah, she's got a thing for him.
And it's people who like masturbate their brains.
ITSD or
yeah.
I forget.
8-pound !! point.
ATSD. Yeah. Yes. No, it is not that. However, the second Hazel ad that she has stumbled upon, which is far creepier to me. The first one that's just a new way of selling toys, which helicopter going overhead.
Wow, we live in Los Angeles, after all.
Yep. They're looking.
I used to be so into helicopters. Growing up in Boston, I'd be like, "Oh my God, there's a helicopter!"
Yeah, when you would see one once every 3 years.
Right, as opposed to always being able to see 7 at a time.
Yeah.
In the sky, and as you can hear, everybody, that's a kind of like baby waking nonsense.
Oh yeah.
Oh, don't even get me started. I live on a hill.
And car alarm setting off.
I live close. I fantasize. I know some of these people are doing God's work, but others.
Most of them are just being dicks.
Most of them are
They're
being
just getting
dicks.
in their helicopters and saying, "I'm going to go be a dick."
I'm going to be a dick. I'm going to circle around. Oh, he's coming back now.
Yeah.
Some of them are like paparazzi who are looking for Brangelina.
Yep.
That makes me nuts.
Yes.
So I want to spell out in rope lights, "Go fuck yourself" on my roof.
Oh, not a bad idea.
And flash it.
Not a bad idea.
Anyway, go on.
Okay, so the second one, the more disturbing Hazel ad is, these are like 15 minutes long, and it is this woman, and she's a Japanese woman, very soft spoken, and she will buy cases.
Oh no.
This is just it's destroyed. It's ruined. No one can listen to this. Let's just pretend it's not there, and the audience won't notice because they're so wrapped up with my story.
True enough.
About the YouTube video. It's a woman, soft-spoken Japanese woman. She'll buy like a case of Kinder eggs. Do you know what these are?
Yep.
And she will unwrap them. That's where the crinkling comes in.
Mm-hmm. And your wife is losing her mind in the next room while she watches.
She's like thick claws going into the side of the chair. And she will remove the chocolate casing and show the toy to the camera, and that's it. And she talks you through it like.
Does she eat it?
What's in here? She takes off the chocolate. No, she never eats the chocolate. Throws the chocolate away.
What?
What's in here? Oh, it's Disney princess. Oh, it's Elsa. She looks pretty. Let's put the dress on her. And then she'll move on. And then there are other kinds, which I've discovered from watching these videos with her, where there's a Play-Doh egg, where there will be some kind of princess hidden inside of an egg made of Play-Doh. And she will just go through her, 150 eggs.
Wow.
Over the course of 15 minutes, and Hazel will watch these wrapped in attention. Like, what the fuck is going to happen next? Daddy, what is in this fucking egg?
What? Okay, there are several things I don't understand about this. First of all, the instinct to take... You're a person, and you're in a house, and you have a video camera.
Yeah.
And a YouTube account.
Mm-hmm.
And a helicopter.
Mm-hmm.
And you say to yourself, I have these mass-produced things that anyone can get anywhere at any time.
Yeah.
I am going to show this camera this thing that anyone could get almost anywhere. Yeah. And be the person who does this thing. What is that instinct where it doesn't have to be even remotely... She didn't make the eggs. She was like, this is my best Kinder egg. Here's the recipe. There's none of that stuff. It wasn't she wasn't contributing to the zeitgeist. She was just participating in it in a way that is guised as contributing to it.
She just likes opening the Kinder eggs, and she wanted other people to watch her opening the Kinder eggs.
What is that about?
I mean, is it that far an impulse from taping the opening to silver spoons and uploading it to YouTube?
Those people are doing a very important service for the rest of us.
Well, I suppose that's probably true to some extent.
Archivization is one thing.
Yeah, it's true, but... Really?
I mean, true.
I mean, I think they do, look at it. I mean, she probably looks at it as doing an important service. She's showing the world the insides of these Kinder eggs that they never would have seen otherwise.
That is true. Right. We would have lost the contents of those Kinder eggs.
They would have just been someone's own private joy. But now she's bringing joy to my daughter.
That is
she
true.
She is doing the world a service. I have slept in for the last week.
Oh, right. Okay, so that brings me to my second point. So it happens to be very... I'm sure this has like 17 million views, too. Like, somehow...
I haven't looked. I've been scared to look. Actually.
Despite the fact...
And my daughter won't let me touch the phone.
It's her phone now.
Yeah.
So despite the fact that you were like, I'm going to take this mass-produced thing and show this video camera this thing and then upload it and, like, do this for an evening for no reason. These are the weird things. Or, like, I'm going to play this video game and I guess other people just watch me play the video game. These are the things that are skyrocketing in views.
Right.
So...
Well, yeah, and it leads me to believe, I mean, I've talked to my wife about this, like, what is the future of entertainment? It's almost like this woman with her... okay, the Kinder Egg thing, that's an anomaly. I don't think... I'm really betting that that's not going to be the future of entertainment. However, the first woman playing with toys, making up little scenarios, like, my daughter would just as soon watch that as a cartoon.
Oh, sure.
And almost more so, because it's a real thing. Like,
and you can fantasize about having the toy.
Yeah, you can have the thing that's in there. You could be playing that exact game yourself. So, like, why is that necessarily worse than a cartoon?
Right.
Like, why not just, if you can do that and you can produce it for $5, like, reality television is headed in this direction.
Where it's
I
just...
mean, it keeps getting cheaper and cheaper.
And
right?
it's just voyeurism and vicarious, not even thrills, vicarious mundanity.
Yeah, exactly. It's those people are doing something and I'm not doing anything. I'm going to watch them do the thing that they're doing.
I feel like the moving picture, so machinima, and people watching other people play video games.
Most popular phenomenon in the world. Like more popular, the top machinima shows get higher ratings than any show on any network.
Oh, and television executives are scrambling because no one knows how to make money off of this.
Right.
So it's completely insane. You could play the game yourself, or you could watch another person play the game.
Yeah.
So you watch another person play the game, as opposed to just playing it yourself. Unless it's people who can't afford the game, who are just like living vicariously that way, and it's wish fulfillment.
Right.
That makes a certain amount of sense. But if you have the game and you're like, whew, I need a break, I'm going to watch someone else play this game for a little while.
Well, okay, but I would watch, say, a video of someone who, like, just kicked ass at Super Mario Brothers and, like, ran through the whole Super Mario Brothers in 5 minutes.
Certainly. If you're
that
picking
would
up
be
tips.
Interesting to watch.
It can't, with the amount of machinima in the world, there can't be that many, just triumphant tours de force.
Right. Mostly it's just some dude being like, oh, I'm going to shoot this guy. Now here's this guy.
Yeah.
Let's shoot him.
So then...
Here's another guy.
Is it the...
Shoot that guy.
Wait, I want to see where this is going.
Okay. I don't want to ruin anything. No spoilers. But at the end, there's a really big guy. And I'm going to shoot him.
Okay, got it. Okay. All right. Whew, yeah. So then the question is this a simulacrum for friendship? And it's the best people who are shut-ins at this point, which is basically everybody.
Yes.
Can do.
What are they called in Mikiko Kuri in Japan? The men who refuse to leave their rooms for 20 years.
Yeah, till they're 49.
Like that. Yeah.
I think by law at 49 they have to do something.
Yes. Is that what we're becoming?
Is it? I mean, perhaps. You've got the kids who stay in their rooms, they play the video games.
Or my daughter watching Kinder Eggs.
Wow. So when they invented the motion picture, I'm sure the Lumiere brothers, the train, I'm sure they're like, hey, I think we're onto something here. This is kind of fun.
Yeah.
But they can't have realized the absolute voodoo they were unleashing on the world.
Well, but it did all right. They did all right for a while, right?
Yeah.
Like we had a good 100-year run there, and now it's destroyed. But
well, yeah. Ugh, by the MBAs making the horrible decisions.
Yeah. There's this book. What's that book? Don't Kill the Cat or Don't Shoot the Cat.
Oh, Save the Cat.
Save the Cat. I read this article a little while ago, and we're getting into a completely different digression. I hope this isn't too far.
Go for it.
But I read this article a little while ago about how now every script, like this book has been so influential, which I have not read.
I've read it. I've read it cover to cover, and the follow-up book. The guy who wrote it died. sadly.
Okay.
He became like this total phenom
Uh-huh.
and traveled the world on the proceeds from the first book,
Uh-huh.
but then just like had a heart attack, the poor guy.
But he was able to write another book.
He got another book out.
Is it called Don't Kill the Dog?
It's it's called Save the Cat Strikes Back.
Okay.
And it's like the thing in action. Here's the interesting... Yes, that book made all movies the exact same and horrible now.
Right.
And I read it and I fell for it too. And I was like, the point of no return and the blah, 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 the dark night of the soul. And every movie truly does at this point fall into this. Here's the crazy thing about that book.
Yeah.
He talks about the movie, speaking of machinima and all that kind of stuff, he talks about the movie Cave Dweller. Nope, Tomb Raider.
Tomb Raider. Yeah, okay.
Tomb Raider with Angelina Jolie.
See, someone is using this movie as an example of something that we should do.
No, it was a don't.
Okay.
Because this was the whole premise of the actual
there's no
quote, Save
actual
the Cat.
tombs in the movie.
And it's all obviously Hollywood sets. And Lara Croft never does something awesome that makes you like her. That is to say, save the cat. She doesn't do something in the very beginning where you're like, oh, okay, oh, she's awesome. I can trust her. Her soul is good. So he says in the beginning of this, that was a lost opportunity. There's never going to be another Lara Croft movie because, at least in that franchise, because she didn't save the cat in the beginning of the first one, so you didn't know whether to like her or not, and you just didn't have any, couldn't get a purchase on who she was.
Okay.
But here's the fucking crazy thing. Mm-hmm. Then Angelina Jolie is in the movie Salt, in which she saves a cat in the beginning, or a dog, or like an animal. I think it's a cat. In the beginning, literally, almost as if to pay homage to the fact that in a previously screenwriting textbook, the same actress didn't do it in another movie. Wow. And it's like a completely tacked on extra thing in the beginning of the movie that's just like textbook ridiculousness. It is...
was it a joke? You think that was an in-joke?
I think it was kind of like, you mean like the Lundberg scream or the Wilhelm scream?
I don't know what that is.
That is a... sound designers always find a place to put the Wilhelm scream, which has been around since like 1948, into all movies. Okay. So it's in Star Wars, it's in Raiders of the Lost Ark, it's in like all... And it's a guy, it's one dude from way back then who recorded himself going... or whatever. And so when people fall off cliffs, sound designers, as an ongoing joke, put in the Wilhelm scream.
Gotcha.
So perhaps is the answer.
Great. Well, no one remembers the movie Salt.
No, they do not. She also, in the end, jumps into
the cat did not save the movie.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So at that point, they should have stopped using it, yet they did not.
Yeah.
I would like to speak very briefly about how I failed my child this week.
Oh, please.
Before we move on to the next segment.
Please.
And this is probably what I'm going to say every week. Mm-hmm. When I say no to my son, I don't mean it, and he knows it.
Okay.
I am failing him on such a large scale, it's ridiculous.
is pretty much the essence of parenting, I think.
Saying no and meaning it.
I mean, I don't think I have ever said no to my daughter and really, I mean, unless she's like really like inflicting great pain upon my face. I don't think I really give a shit that much about pretty much anything that she could do.
Yeah, it's so... it must be so hard to be a kid. This kid flung food... Okay. He'd finish his meal and then he'd start throwing the rest of it on the floor. And for months 0 through 13.2, it was hilarious.
Nothing you could do. That's what babies do.
It's just this thing.
Right.
He was a bag of electric impulses.
Right.
One of which was to throw food on the floor.
Yes.
And now we've decided arbitrarily you can't do that anymore.
Yes. And he knows... You think he knows what he's doing at this point enough that you can stop him from doing it.
That's the problem, but it's so deeply imprinted. He's like, meal's over, and he becomes a Viking. And we're like, no. Suddenly we're like, no, Oscar. You know?
Yeah.
And the poor kid, he's like, what? Huh?
Right.
And he gives this cute face where he's like, huh?
That's very difficult. I totally understand that feeling. Here's the upside, though, is that they have memories like goldfish at this age. So you can... just say no for a week, and then he'll be...
And then he won't remember having ever done that.
He won't remember ever having done that.
That's what I'm hoping. But the problem is I still need to figure out how to mean no.
Yeah, you have to be confident in it.
I'm an utter softie. Here's the next thing. Here's another way I'm failing my kid. But this one isn't my fault. He wants to bite my nose. And I half let him before I tell him to stop.
Okay, it's pretty adorable. A kid
It's so
putting his
cute.
mouth around your nose.
I know, and he wants to feel close. I think because when I've actually like let it proceed, he doesn't like try and rip my nose off.
No.
He just sort of like rests his teeth against my nose because I think his teeth are the interface.
It's like a puppy.
Yeah, or like a USB cord.
Okay. I've never put a USB cord in my nose.
Well, I think his teeth are the male and my nose is the female.
I gotcha. Okay.
And so he's like trying to get the data and
Yeah.
like feel close to me.
But one of these days he's just gonna go for it, and you will have no nose anymore.
Exactly. But so I've already begun cutting off his ability to connect to me as a person. But the other problem is he'll bite other kids too. Like you got to stop these biters.
Really?
But he's like,
oh, you're saying you're worried that he will. He doesn't yet. I keep moving around. I hope that's not distracting.
I love it when you move around.
It's not. It can't be any more distracting than the fucking helicopter that ruined my entire story.
That was terrible.
Oh.
We were all with you though, weren't we, audience?
Yes. Oh, wow. They came through on the forums.
Thank you, ActionScript.1 forums. 1.0. So, yeah, the other problem is that like there was a time he was on the jungle gym or whatever the fuck those things are called at the playground, and there was another kid with a cracker. Mm-hmm. And the other kid was like climbing up the thing with the stairs with a cracker.
He was like hanging out with like an edible cracker. I thought you meant it was one
like
kid.
a white kid.
Yes, hanging out with some Ofe. Okay.
And he was climbing up. I don't know why the kid wasn't eating the cracker. He was just like his thing.
Yeah.
Climbing up, and Oscar gets a load of that cracker and goes after the kid like a lion after an antelope.
Really?
And I was like, Oscar, oh man, Oscar, no, oh kid, no, that's not your cracker, kid.
Was he like moving his arms and legs were moving like in succession, like together?
It was like Born Free, slow motion.
Yeah.
Like rising above the grasslands and then going down again, and just like muscles articulating as the thighs jounced.
Wow. Okay.
It was insane. And he luckily didn't get the cracker.
Action number 9.
But
he went after it.
He went after it, and I was like, "Oh, kid, Oscar, that's what." I was kind of like negotiating in this kind of like Gilbert Gottfried
It's cute. It's kind of.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
Don't do that.
I'm a pussy of a dad.
Oh, fucking parks and playgrounds are the worst, though.
Oh yeah, this was 10 seconds before he shoved a kid down the slide.
Oh Jesus! And then was the parent near, or was this
No.
this was the kid who was left alone at the playground? Well, he deserved to be shoved. I would shove that kid too.
I mean, your parent. That's what happens, right?
Yeah. I find that I will often have like passive aggressive fights with other parents on the playground through our children. Like, oh, don't hit that kid even though he's kind of acting like a dick. And then the parent would be right there and be like, yeah, that other kid's hitting you. I think his parents are probably communists. I don't know. That's never really happened, but sort of that sort of vibe. There's a lot of conversation that happens between parents through their children.
Oh yes.
In situations like that,
and watching toys be snatched back and forth.
Yeah, because it's not and I feel very like, I mean, the thing is, like, if we could just admit it. I mean, it's almost like akin to the whole Hobby Lobby thing, like trying to like pretend that other people don't have sexual urges, or trying to pretend that you don't have sexual urges, like in some weird superior way. Like, we have to put up this facade at the playground that our children, that it's not just normal for kids to fucking snatch toys away from each other. Like,
right.
Every kid does it, but we have to be like, oh, this is the first time he's ever done that, and it's like,
right, exactly.
No, they're little dicks.
The wild animals. They're beasts.
Animals, and there was a time, I feel like, in sort of the Mad Men era, where you would just like acknowledge that and just be like, I don't give a fuck what, like, they're not bothering me. Like, let them beat the shit out of each other.
Exactly. Well, the parents would be sleeping with each other in the bushes extramaritally.
Yes.
Or smoking cigarettes and feeling sorry for themselves.
Oh, that's 3 more erections.
What a wonderful time that must have been. Instead of this, like, it's studying each other's parenting style.
Yeah, or just like trying to feel like I'm not a bad parent. Like trying to save face, like. Like, yeah.
What is the big? What is the big deal about being? So our parents, the baby boomers, couldn't give two shits.
Terrible, the worst parents of all time.
I mean, they were like, "Get out of here! I don't want to know you exist for 5 hours. Go play literally at the dump with broken license plates."
Yeah.
And you're like, all right, I think I have tetanus. My jaw's feeling stiff. And they're like, well, we'll see if the doctor's available in 6 Tuesdays.
Yes.
And that was like their style. I think we turned out okay. But here's the thing. We, as a result of having been raised in such a lackadaisical way, are completely obsessed. We're doing the exact opposite. And we're trying to like show our parents how it's done in a way.
Right.
To prove to them that they neglected us or something.
Yeah.
To get back love that we never felt or something.
Oh, right.
And that's a pain in the ass. Like that's a giant undue burden.
Yes.
Which is for everybody involved.
It never works when our parents are actually right there. That's the problem.
Right.
Is that I'm trying to like show it to them when they're not anywhere near to see it.
And here's the paradox: then we are showing it to them by the way we raise our children in this like completely adoring, read every book, read every article way, and our kids are becoming more fucked up than we were.
Yeah, probably so.
Present company excluded.
No, my children are fine. I mean, your kid is a fuck up, but my daughter's fine. Moving on.
That's my diatribe for today. But moving on to the next segment.
Yes, one toe in the cool.
How
are we doing on time here?
What does it say on that machine?
Ooh, we got 50 minutes.
50 minutes?
50 minutes.
To go?
That's how we are at 50 minutes. We've been talking for 50 minutes.
Oh, wow. Okay, we're going to have to... okay, then one toe in the cool. What do you got?
Okay, one toe in the cool. I don't really have anything. Well, I do have one thing. I ordered a CD from England this week.
Really? From 4AD?
No, it was not 4AD. It was a
Matador
label called Cherry Red, British label. C86. Brendan, do you know anything about C86?
It was used during the Cold War to erase soldiers' memories.
That's right. Yeah, specifically soldiers of Asian descent who were living with American women. C86 is a compilation. It was put together in the year 1986 by NME, New Music Express, or New Musical Express, I believe. I don't want to hear about it on the forums, folks. I know it's something like that. British magazine, music magazine, and it was the beginning of the sort of twee subgenre of music, of which we have discussed before.
You were still on your twee thing.
That's right. And they this company just put out C86 has been out of print for years. It was a cassette that came with New Music Express, and it like kickstarted this entire like genre of music.
Damn.
It has been out of print for like decades. I managed to get a copy of it through illegal methods.
Oh.
So I have heard the original compilation. But
did someone have to die?
Someone did. Someone had to die via C86. The thing that you were talking about. It was an Asian man who was married to a white woman, and I put a little C86 in his cornflakes. But no, I just got it through the interwebs. But now this label has reissued it with another 2 CDs of bonus tracks of other twee-related music. And I ordered it from England, and it's available in the United States for $20 more than it cost in England. So I ordered it from England, and now I have to wait 18 days for delivery.
But let's talk about because
the mail somehow still does not quite work.
No, steamer
getting us from England to America.
Yeah, comes over on a steamer.
Yeah,
in Greenland. Let's talk about the sterling exchange rate, because I'm thinking with new math that you pay the same amount.
Well, I didn't, because it was through Amazon.
Oh,
so you see the prices right there: $52 America, $30 US.
Oh, blam!
Order it up, and me and Bob's your uncle.
Yeah.
And in 18 days, I will be listening to some cool music.
That's some cool twee you got there.
From 1986.
Oh, that's great.
The year that I was 10 years old.
Well, I did some...
what did you do that was cool?
I kept my toe in the cool ever so slightly.
Okay.
We went camping this weekend. That's not really cool, though.
Let me think. Cool or American?
Wholesome.
That's our segment next week. Cool or American?
Yeah, that's not really cool, is it?
Well, it depends on how you camped. Did you car camp?
Yeah.
Okay. That's leaning more towards the cool kind of camping, I guess.
Oh, glamping.
Glamping.
With my parents-in-law. This isn't really that
Points
cool.
off.
Yep.
Give me one maybe item that you purchased for this trip that might tip the scales back towards cool.
I'm glad you asked. I bought a book for my Kindle called "This Will Make You Smarter."
Oh, okay.
By John Brockman.
The first part I think was headed in that direction, and then I don't know what the "This Will Make You Smarter" part of it. That sort of I don't know what that book is. If you had bought perhaps Little Birds by Anais Nin or something, that might be.
Well, I bought that, but then instead I read the first book in the Game of Thrones series.
Okay, that's fair.
I mean,
is that good? You read that in one camping trip?
Oh,
when did you camp?
Oh no, I only read a couple of chapters.
I'm having I said I was only going to have one, but I'm having a second because it's right here.
And because I know you.
And because you know me.
I bought two.
I have a problem.
Sounds to me like you have a solution.
Pardon me.
I also watched the World Cup soccer game. I got nothing. I did nothing cool this week.
How was Game of Thrones?
I didn't even listen to. Oh, it's pretty good. You get to be inside the characters' heads or whatever.
I have never watched it.
Oh, really?
Well, I watched the first episode and I was just like, dragons.
Dude, speaking of nipples,
people love it.
Holy shit! It's basically nipples of nipples.
I just feel like I would be watching some 15. And that guy that George Railroad Martin, is that his name?
Yeah.
He just that cap he wears, that beard,
Greek fisherman's cap.
He's a silly man.
He's silly.
This isn't a serious man. How can I take his prose seriously?
I know.
But I've heard he's great. I've heard it's actually good. It's a well-written.
It is
series.
It's completely enthralling.
You have taste in that field, right?
I like to think so.
Is there any book that you have just thrown down in disgust because the writing is just so atrocious?
Oh God!
A book that other people have loved.
Oh sure, I'm sure. I must have
or recommended.
This would happen if I read more.
Mm-hmm. You can only get through the first 2 chapters
of anything.
Yeah.
But I've really liked the first 2 chapters of almost everything I've read.
Yeah.
But there are movies I haven't liked that everyone else has liked.
Mm-hmm.
And there are TV shows that I haven't liked.
I'd love to hear one movie that you have not liked that everyone else has liked that you think is probably a really good movie.
Fantastic. Oh, good. Okay. The Crying Game.
Okay.
Would be one.
I thought that was a good movie. I wouldn't put it up there as a life changer, but it's I thought it was a solid Usual Suspects type sort of.
People were vomiting their souls out when that movie came out. I seem to remember. It was my freshman year of college.
Everyone likes a surprise penis.
Hey yo!
Oh, did I just spoil? Sorry.
Well, I think people have had enough time at this point.
Okay, they know.
Yeah. On the other hand, speaking of spoilers, I really liked Diabolique, but that came out in the 50s.
Yeah.
I wasn't alive when it actually came out.
I don't know what to tell you about that.
ASMR.
I just remembered.
Ah.
I saw my wife in the window, and I remembered. ASMR is what it's called.
Wow.
And here she is right now.
Oh. Hello, Sarah.
Tell us about ASMR.
I'm starting a new blog called Kids Are Asleep, I'm Going to Bed.
Oh.
That's mine.
That's what you're doing right now?
Yeah, I'm going to bed. Kids
okay.
Are asleep.
Will you tell us about ASMR real quick?
I don't even know what it means.
Isn't that the isn't that the crinkle head thing?
Yeah.
If I had a gum wrapper and I was whispering, would you lose your mind?
Yeah, I love that. Tingly head sensation.
Tingly head sensation.
Oh.
That's it?
THS.
It's so good. Look
Wow.
it up on YouTube.
Okay, well, have fun starting your blog. How was the daughter tonight?
Better.
Better?
Yeah.
What time did she go to sleep?
Just now.
What time is just now?
9:40.
Yeah, that's late.
That's a late one.
Okay.
I'm looking forward to July 4th with you people.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, we're staying in a house of a friend. We probably shouldn't say this on the air.
No, there can be no Facebook mentions of it. It'll be a black.
Is it a movie star?
No, it's just my cousin.
Just her cousin.
Ah.
Brad Pitt.
Yahtzee.
Just kidding. Okay, good night.
Mwah. Good night. See you on Friday.
All right.
For the
Looks
200th.
nice in here.
Thank you.
For the 200th anniversary of Francis Scott Key's Star Spangled Banner.
Oh, is that so?
Mm-hmm.
Originally a racist call to arms.
Was it?
Little known fact.
Hmm.
Yeah, it was.
This is my first podcast challenge.
You're challenging that. It was interestingly enough, he was okay with the black man. It was anti-Belarusian.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Hated the Belarus.
Wow.
Belaruskis.
Really? That is
Yeah,
incredible.
Francis Scott Key. Very,
Wow.
Very racist.
Very specifically
Anti-Belarusian.
racist.
Yeah.
Specifically northern Belarus.
Yeah.
Okay, now we have to slam through our closing segments.
Which are?
In 30 seconds, explain the part where dads explain something technical. It's the mansplaining segment.
Okay. Got it.
I'll go first.
Okay.
Speaking of the simian thing where your daughter grabs a cane and gets things from high shelves, there's apparently a thing in the brain where a certain part of our brain governs what we can reach with our arms.
Okay.
And another part of our brain governs everything that we can't reach.
Okay.
And when we have a rake in our hands, suddenly all the things we can reach with that stick, with a rake, become governed by the part of our brain that is governed by the things we can reach because we're holding that tool. So some people say that Google is an extension of our brain for this very reason, because while you used to memorize people's phone numbers, now your phone contains the phone numbers. So your phone is a part of your brain because their phone number, you just go get it in the phone, and it's no different than storing it in your brain. Or you used to memorize the address of a favorite museum, but now you Google it to find it out. So Google, you keep it in Google, the address that you would otherwise have memorized, and there's no distinction between the two things.
So does this open the brain up for more information, or does it just limit our...
It blurs the lines between that which is our brain and that which is the internet.
Okay. I'm not into that. I like my brain. I would like to keep it as is.
Google
would
like
like to,
your brain
I would like
too.
to continue knowing people's phone numbers. I don't. There's not a phone number I know right now.
I barely
other
know
than
my own.
My parents, which has never changed my entire life, except we got a new zip code in area code in like the late 90s.
Oh, that throws everything off.
It threw everything off. It was the original area code was much nicer. The new one's terrible.
Always it slouches towards less well-rounded sounding.
313 to 810. Come on.
Oh, please. 313 is awesome.
That's amazing.
717 was Scranton, PA for a while.
Yeah, beautiful.
617 was Boston. Is Boston, most of Boston.
It still is.
But a lot of Boston was changed to 781.
Okay, what am I going to mansplain to you tonight? I will mansplain. I got nothing. I was unprepared for this segment.
Well, that's because I sprung it on you when I got here.
It was sprung on me. I'm a little upset about it still. I think I would have gotten more erections tonight if I weren't concentrating on this situation that was just thrown in my lap.
Thrust upon you, if you will.
Thrust upon my lap area.
No. Okay, finally, as we say goodnight, unsolicited advice from dads.
Unsolicited advice from dads. Don't let your children know that you have control of the TV, that they can watch it, that it produces pictures. Let them think that it is an item of furniture until they go to bed. And if they wander into the room while you're watching it, smash the screen.
In anticipation of these kind of things, I actually asked my mother-in-law to sew us a flat screen cozy.
Oh, wow.
So it's not this big
fantastic.
black square that one wonders what it is.
It needs to be like a flat screen, a cozy?
Yeah, so it's like a piece of fabric, kind of like a pillowcase that we lower over it. So then it's just a weird thing.
It needs to be like a Spider-Man web sort of device that you could like fold up, and then when the child comes in the room, you just throw it, and it just sticks to the screen.
And then it's just that weird cloth painting.
Yep.
That's set apart from the wall.
That's right.
Yep, that's true. That's not a
What's
bad idea.
your unsolicited advice?
My unsolicited advice is that people, if you live, you and I are dyed-in-the-wool East Siders here in Los Angeles, and for those of you who don't live in L.A., the East might as well be the East Coast.
Might as well.
The worst drivers in the world are on the West Side of Los Angeles.
I don't go there enough to
They're horrible. They have giant cars, and they don't know how to drive them, and they're not looking at the road anyway. They're texting. They're tweeting.
Well, they think they're on bikes too at the same time.
Oh, don't get me started.
Here I am on my cruiser. Oh wait, no, it's a car. Oops,
oh, it's a giant SUV that just murdered 18 people. So my unsolicited advice to you is learn the width of your car. Know how wide your car is, so that rather than driving down the center of the road when there are cars parked on either side and it's a side street, drive on your side. There's room for you, and I'll drive on mine, and we can just go by each other. Rather than you texting anyway, drive down the center of the road, and then I have to wait. Because after a while I lose patience and I start gunning it at people because I know how wide my car is.
Yes.
And so I know what I can fit through, and I start yelling at people a lot and making hand gestures.
This is a constant bone of contention on our street, this very street we're on right now.
People driving down the center?
People just love this street for some reason. I think it's a good thoroughfare between Glendale and Fletcher.
Tis.
And it is a very narrow street because there are cars parked on either side, and people just love going down the center of the road. And more often than not, it will be someone in a giant SUV.
Yep.
Which I have a nice compact car, and for some reason, the compact car is the one that's expected to make room for the SUV.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, I hate...
Just like the compact parking spots, which I so rarely see an actual compact car.
Oh, no. It's the giant SUVs taking up two of them.
That's right.
Don't even get me started. I get so mad about it.
Yeah.
When you come into an intersection and the person on the right is allowed to go first, if it's an SUV or an expensive German car, I go first anyway.
Yeah, good for you.
And I'm like, fuck you, and I go.
Fuck you. Good.
With your conspicuous consumption.
Yes.
I'm only angry when driving.
Well, that's fair.
Dads in anger.
Time to be angry.
Dads in anger go together like bullets and guns.
I think we got to get one of those though. You know what? Because a normal car, like I'm all for a compact car, Brendan. But we have 2 children, and they're just not designed. If you take, suddenly you are driving in a 2-seater.
Yep.
And like my sister's coming into town this week with 2 kids.
Oh Jesus.
I have to take the car seats out in order to accommodate them. We can't ever go anywhere together the entire time they're here.
Are they renting a car?
They're not. But, you need 2 extra seats in every car now.
Yeah, that's true.
Because the car seats are so giant.
And thus the minivan. My sister has 3 kids. They had to buy a minivan. She was totally against it because you are not allowed to have 3 kids in a line in one seat.
Who set those rules? Who's the lobby?
California legislature.
California
in conjunction with
van lobby?
Hobby Lobby.
Hobby Lobby.
The Hobby Lobby.
Yeah. Well, the Hobby Lobby has plenty of room for their children. They can just build another row of seats anytime they want to.
Make it a hobby.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's Dad Jeans.
That is Dad Jeans. Have a lovely evening or day or wherever you are and whatever you're doing as you listen to this.
Let's play them out on the theme song.
Dad Jeans. Sometimes it's obscene. Sometimes it's in between. But it's never too mean. Dad Jeans.